We're also streaming on YouTube. Search for us, Nigeria Info FM, and you'd find us live there. We're back here at the screening of the ministerial nominees. We're live, and we're giving you live feed straight from the red chambers, the Senate in Abuja. The plenary has commenced right now, and shortly we'll be hooking up. They're still in plenary. That's right. They've not begun the screening. So what they do at plenary is to give, like an update of what happened on the House at the House yesterday, and also what they would be doing today.
That's right.
Welcome to this live coverage. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
And I'm Sheriff Quadry. We'll be here with you until they finish with the third person. We hear that they will be screening 3 nominees today to wrap up the list of the list sent to it by the President Muhammadu Buhari. And then I also, I don't know whether it's true or not that they will all be confirmed today.
Yeah, that's a report we hear. I mean, there are 3 more nominees to be screened today, after which it should be the confirmation. There isn't any much to it. But we'll be here to, monitor and see what goes on. That's why we're here. Make sure you're watching us online, because there you can see what's going on at the red chambers. The plenary has started. Let's head over to the Senate now to listen to the plenary. And once the nominations start, we'll tell you who's coming up, give you a brief profile about them. And then if they're taking the bow and they go, we should be done in time. I don't know if they would, but it should be a quick one this morning. Let's head to the Senate.
Weeks ago again, a village in Ganze local government called Badu was attacked. And the people, the locals of that village, gallantly repelled the attack and killed several of the insurgents and confiscated their weapons. 2 weeks later, precisely on Saturday, the insurgents came back for a reprisal attack. And like I said, the target, soft target. There was a funeral procession in that village, and the insurgents attacked and killed over 65 persons at one time, and about over 15 people injured. As I'm talking to you, that is the official figure that we have. Maybe there are still some people, because or maybe as they're fleeing away with injuries, they might have probably died somewhere in the bush. But I'm sure the figure might be a little bit more than that. Like I said, the terrain is very expansive, and the military are doing the best that they could, because they have also lost their troops in recent attacks. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I would have brought this as a full motion, but because hopefully we are going on recess today, and there will be another legislative day till after the recess, but I want to plead with you to please consider, 1, to condemn in strong terms the dastardly act perpetrated by this incident and all other actions by the insurgents, and also observe a minute silence in honor of the deceased victims of the attacks, that is both military and civilian victims, and also urge the federal government to approve the deployment of additional military personnel to Borno North Senatorial District owing to its size and location as a border region to curb the infiltration of foreign insurgents. And also urge the federal government through NEMA to immediately send relief materials to the affected people to cushion their suffering. In addition, Your Excellency, Mr. President, you are leading a delegation based on a previous motion to Borno to commiserate with the Borno State government and the people on over several acts of insurgents. I would want to also please include this particular action in your mandate to go and deliver to the people and the government of Borno State. And lastly, we want the military to provide security coverage for any aid worker that is meaningful and are doing job to reduce the suffering of the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, distinguished. Because I have come under Order 43, Order 43 does not allow for debate. So we, of course, will take the 1 minute silence, and all the prayers and relief you are seeking are noted. Let me also take the opportunity to condole with the families of the deceased on behalf of the Senate. And when we take the tour to Borno State, I will ensure that we visit that part of the state to see the situation created by this devastation. Let's observe a 1 minute silence. May the souls of the deceased rest in perfect peace. Amen. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly revered and distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a presentation and consideration of the report of a hard work committee to the Edo State House of Assembly crisis. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Abdullahi Aliu Sabi, Chairman of the committee, to move a motion for the Senate to receive and consider the report.
Senator Abdullahi Aliu Sabi.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Aliu Abdullahi Sabi. I represent Niger North, Chairman of the Ad hoc Committee to investigate the crisis in the Edo State House of Assembly. I hereby move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Ad hoc Committee. I so move.
Any seconder? Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani.
Thank you, Mr. President. Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani, Senator representing Adamawa Central. I rise to second the motion as heavily moved by the Deputy Senate Leader. I so second. Thank you.
Senator Aliu Sabi, please, you can present your report. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may let your report, please, and then you present.
The other committee setting their report on the table, so far looking into the progress by the House. The House will listen to this report by the ad hoc, after which plenary would continue just for a few minutes, and then the Senate President will move into the capacity of the chair overseeing the ministerial screening.
I represent Niger North and from Niger State, Chairman of this committee. Report of the Ad hoc Committee on the investigation of the crisis in Edo State House of Assembly. The Senate, at its sitting on Wednesday, 10th July 2019, considered a point of order 42 and 52 raised by Senator Michael O. Bamidele on the crisis at the Edo State House of Assembly, and subsequently constituted an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter and to find a way forward. The ad hoc committee members are made of my humble self as the chairman, Senator Aishat D. Ahmed, member, Senator Nicholas Tofowomo, member. Senator Ahmed Babakaita, member. Senator Gabriel Suswan, member. Senator Chukuka Utavi, member. And Senator Wanga Bio Barakuma Degi Eremeyo, member.
A report being given by the other committee looking into the crisis in Edo State.
That's
Remember
right.
that Edo State as House of Assembly is currently shut down because the House gave such instructions to the police, pending when the governor, Godwin Obaseki, is expected to give another proclamation
That's
to
right.
fully inaugurate the House. And on the papers today, the governor says he would not issue another proclamation.
Even, I mean, it was responding to a particular headline in the papers where El Rufai said that President Muhammad Buhari had given an order, for Governor Obaseki to go and issue a fresh proclamation, for the State Assembly, and a video surfaced online showing, Adams Oshiomhole, the national chairman of the APC, and the governor embracing themselves and having some form of chit chat with some other stalwart of the party, and everybody felt that okay, this is over. I mean, now we can all move on.
The issues are resolved. I mean, all we had the governor needs to do is issue a fresh proclamation, because I think about just 7 of the lawmakers came to the inauguration.
That's
and
right.
formed. They chose the Speaker of the House, chose all the important positions in the House without the others being there. So
right.
if it calls another proclamation, they would all then come, have a proper inauguration, have a proper sitting,
That's right.
and then choose their leaders in the House.
We also need to look at the legal implication of this. Is it required? Can we have multiple proclamation?
Yes.
We need to look at the implication of all of these things so that we don't have a precedent for something that is unlawful,
Yes.
especially in the State House of Assembly.
Yes. So speaking with some lawyers, some have raised issues about the House of, the National Assembly shutting down the Edo State House of Assembly because actually, although the proclamation wasn't rightly done, they formed a quorum on that sitting.
That's right.
To choose a speaker and other leaders of the House. So since a quorum was formed and the House can still sit, what the law says is the State Assembly can be shut down if they are unable to sit.
That's right.
They're actually able to sit by law, but there is a crisis, and the problem now is how to resolve this crisis. But
I have also seen a situation whereby, state lawmakers, because the State House of Assembly was under lock and key for security reasons, state lawmakers were moved from the State House of Assembly to the government house. So they were sitting at the government house.
that would be totally unlawful.
But it happened.
So, but they can't make any laws.
It did happen. And they made laws. They were sitting.
But let's hear if the other committee investigating this crisis has, a resolution. Let's head back to the Senate now.
Document that you wish to present. So,
okay, they're still looking through the documents.
That's right.
And I think they should have passed these documents before now, so the lawmakers could peruse and ask questions from the findings of the committee. But they just passed the paper around to them all. They're not even looking into the paper. So they probably feel the committee would have done a good job.
That's
and
right.
just pass whatever is in it.
We're looking for them to just get up ahead and, get on the screening on the way today. Even though there are not many people to be screened today, it's still regarded as one of the most important items on the agenda. That is before the Senate today. And attendance also not really impressive as well. Not really an impressive attendance.
No.
It's looking quite scanty.
Yeah.
Hopefully some other lawmakers will be joining, because today we expect to see the former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, to be screened today, and some others as well. Just 3 of them.
Let's look at the issues going on in Edo State and what the law says. Section 11, 4 and 5 of the 1999 Constitution amended says, let me quote, at any time when any House of Assembly of a state is unable to perform its functions by reason of the situation prevailing in that state, the National Assembly may make such laws for the peace, order and good government of that state with respect to matters on which a House may make laws as may appear to the National Assembly to be necessary or expedient until such time as a House of Assembly is able to resume its functions. And any such laws enacted by the National Assembly pursuant to this section would have effect as if they were laws enacted by the House of Assembly of the state. Section 5 explains further to say, for the purposes of subsection 4, a House of Assembly shall not be deemed to be unable to perform its functions so long as the House of Assembly can hold a meeting and transact business. So the question is, can the Edo State House of Assembly hold a meeting? Can they transact business?
Important question.
Those are the questions to ask.
Very important question. But we'll see how this pans out, and hopefully this can be resolved. And I hope this is not the part 2 of the confrontation between, the camp of Adams Shomale, the APC chairman, and the camp of the incumbent governor, who had openly come out in the media to say that, he's being fought because he wasn't going to share the state resources. And to me, that's one allegation that you don't want to come out and make, especially against the people from your own party.
Unless he gives us the names.
You can't do that.
He should give us the names of those demanding to share resources.
And he can't take it back. He said it already.
Oh, no,
He's
can't.
out there.
He particularly said, I can't be governor and not be governor. He's saying they are not allowing him to fully take charge, of the state. I don't know what that means, but of course,
which
he fingers.
Is a very huge allegation. I mean, if he had been referring to people from other parties, that's another different ballgame. But you're talking about your own party, people from your own party. That's huge.
Interestingly,
that's really huge.
all the lawmakers in Edo State, all 24 of them, are from the APC. The state is also run by the APC government. The governor is from APC. Every member of the House is from the same party. So question is, how come the proclamation was sent just to few members who were all duly elected as representatives for their wards and constituencies? How come just few of them were invited for the inauguration?
The sad
from
part
the same party.
The sad part of this whole thing is, the role the people are playing in this, and the effect on the people, because these lawmakers are supposed to be making laws for the people. They're supposed to be representing their constituents, and these constituents are being denied, the activities, the actions, the deliberations, and the decisions of these lawmakers. And it pains me because we don't usually look at the big picture in this country. We just see titans fighting without looking at the bigger picture as to who this fight. Who are being affected by this fight? How long are they going to be held down without making, their own impact, their own inputs towards the betterment of their people? We're not concentrating on that.
The first person that will be affected directly will be the governor, because now he cannot constitute his cabinet. He cannot. The commissioners would need to be screened.
That's right.
Before the State House of Assembly.
That's
that
right.
cannot happen because the State House of Assembly is currently not sitting. In fact, the Assembly is shut. And so they can't screen for commissioners. That means nothing can be done. You can't move on. You can't pass a budget. You can virtually not function.
That's
so
right.
this needs to be resolved. Let's head back to the Senate now. They've looked through the report, and some senators are making comments about the recommendations of the committee.
To enable it continue with its legislative functions without hindrance or interference for any entity or quarters. The crisis began before the inauguration of the State House of Assembly, when some members-elect accused the state governor of planning to hijack the State House of Assembly leadership by his refusal to issue a proclamation letter for its inauguration immediately after the expiration of the 6th Edo State House of Assembly on 6th June 2019. However, the State House of Assembly was inaugurated on Monday, 17th June 2019 by the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly with 9 out of 24 members-elect present. Our action. Immediately we are inaugurated, we swung into action and had our first meeting on Monday, 15 July 2019, to deliberate on the modalities and approaches to be adopted in carrying out a thorough and hitch-free investigation into the crisis. The ad hoc committee's action is guided by the relevant constitutional provisions as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. The constitutional provisions are as follows. A. Section 105, subsection 3. Subject to the provision of this Constitution, the person elected as the governor of a state shall have power to issue proclamation for the holding of the fourth session of the State House of Assembly concerned immediately after his being sworn in for its dissolution as provided in this section. B. Section 11, subsection 4. At any time, when any House of Assembly of a state is unable to perform its function by any reason of the situation prevailing in the state, the National Assembly may make such laws for the peace, order, and good government of that state with respect to matters on which a House of Assembly may make laws as may appear to the National Assembly to be necessary or expedient until such time as the House of Assembly is able to resume its functions. And any such laws enacted by the National Assembly pursuant to this section shall have effect as if they were laws enacted by the House of Assembly of the state, provided that nothing in this section shall be construed as conferring on the National Assembly power to remove the governor or deputy governor of the state from office. C. Section 11, subsection 5. For the purpose of subsection 4 of this section, a House of Assembly shall not be deemed to be unable to perform its function as long as the House of Assembly can hold a meeting and transact business. The ad hoc committee identified the following stakeholders to engage during this investigation. 1. The executive governor of the state, Mr. Godwin Obaseki. 2. The APC state chairman, Edo State, Mr. Ansem Ojezwa. The speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Mr. Frank Okie, and other members of the State House of Assembly, based on the inauguration. Agreed members elect of the Edo State House of Assembly, the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly, Alhaji Yahaya Olore Egbe, the Nigerian Police, State Security Service, the National Chairman of Progressive Congress, Comrade Adams Oshiomale. The ad hoc committee traveled to Edo Ministry on Wednesday, 17 July 2019, and interacted with the identified stakeholders resident in Edo State, and held interaction with the agreed members-elect of the State House of Assembly and the National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress on Thursday, 18 July 2019, here in Abuja. The ad hoc committee interacted with the identified stakeholders for first-hand information and to be briefed on the circumstances surrounding the 17th June 2019 inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly. The clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly was also requested to provide the following documents. 1. Copy of the proclamation letter. 2. Vote and proceedings of the State House of Assembly for its inauguration date. 4. Other paper of the State House of Assembly for its inauguration date. 4. That's 3 first. Then 4. Copy of media publication adverts notifying the public of the inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly. And 5. Video clips of the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly. The subsequent pages summarize our interactions with the stakeholders I've noted. With the Edo State Governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, he made oral presentation to the ad hoc committee as follows: that the Constitution requires him to issue proclamation for the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly for his first sitting, which he has fulfilled. That he neither imposed nor anointed any individual to occupy the position of the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly. And that it was the decision of the state chapter of the APC to engage members-elect of the State House of Assembly and resolve to zone leadership position in the State House of Assembly among its members to ensure inclusion among the 3 senatorial zones, which was unanimously agreed by all the stakeholders of the party. The chairman of Edo State APC gave his own presentation also as follows: that the state chapter of the party convened an emergency meeting, state working committee meeting on Thursday, 13th June 2019 to primarily deliberate on the inauguration of the State House of Assembly and the subsequent election of its leaders. This was as a result of his interaction with the state governor on the need to replicate what happened in the National Assembly that we had a smooth leadership emergency. That the governor mandated the state chapter of the party initiate the process of selecting principal officers of the State House of Assembly. 3, that the members of the State Working Committee of the party welcomed the initiative of the governor and were fully supportive of that decision. 4, that a second meeting was held on Friday, 14th June 2019 with the State Working Committee of the party, with party leaders across the state, local government, and members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly, which was summoned to intimate the members-elect on the decision of the party in the zoning of the principal officers of the State House of Assembly. It is of note that all the 24 members-elect of the State House of Assembly were present. 5, that a follow-up meeting was also held on Sunday, 16th June 2019, between the State Working Committee of the APC, local government party leaders, and members-elect of the State House of Assembly, who unanimously agreed on those to occupy the leadership position in the Edo State House of Assembly to ensure equity, fair play, and balance in the state. The Clerk, Edo State House of Assembly. The Clerk, Edo State House of Assembly, Alhaji Haya Olorogbe, made both oral and written presentations to the committee as follows. 1, that he received proclamation letter for the inauguration of the State House of Assembly from the State Governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, on Friday, 14th June 2019, and was directed in the letter that the State Assembly should be inaugurated on Monday, 17th June 2019. 2, that he notified and informed all the 24 members-elect via phone calls and text messages of his possession of the proclamation letter, and the inauguration of the State House of Assembly will hold on Monday, 17 June 2019 by 3 p.m. 3, the invitation and notification of the proclamation letter was placed on the notice board of the State House of Assembly complex, as was unable to place such in print or electronic media due to lack of time. 4, that he proceeded with inauguration of the State House of Assembly on the inauguration date with 9 members elect. And 5, that after the inauguration of the State House of Assembly, the members-elect present unanimously elected Honorable Frank Okie and Honorable Michael Ohio Ezomo as the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, respectively. Our interaction with the Speaker is as follows. That members-elect of the State House of Assembly receive phone calls and text messages from the clerk, notifying them and inviting them to the inauguration. 2, that he and others availed themselves for the inauguration while some were not available for reasons only known to them. 3, that members sworn in on the inauguration day of the State House of Assembly elected him as their Speaker. 4, that the State House of Assembly had been exercising its legislative functions and had received executive communications seeking the confirmation of the governor's nominees as commissioners in the State Executive Council. And 5, that there is no existence of crisis in the State House of Assembly, but only some members elect who choose not to be inaugurated for unjustifiable reasons. The Commissioner of Police, Edo State. The Edo State Commissioner of Police, CP Damala Mohammed, made both oral and written presentation to the ad hoc committee as follows. 1, that the State Police Command on Monday, 17 June 2019, at about 8 a.m., was informed about the possible inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly on the same date. That necessary security arrangement was put in place to maintain law and order within the State House of Assembly complex and its environs. 3, that the Nigerian police had its station personnel at the entrance of the State House of Assembly before, during, and after the inauguration, but additional reinforcement was given on the inauguration day to ensure a peaceful and hitch-free exercise. That about 9 p.m. on that same day, the inauguration of the Edo State House of 9 p.m. on that same date, the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly was conducted by the clerk to the State House of Assembly, and that both the Speaker and Deputy Speaker were said to be elected. That the Nigerian police is saddled with the responsibility of securing the State House of Assembly complex and its environment, and as such was not privy to what transpired in the chambers of the State House of Assembly. 6, that on Tuesday, 18 June 2019 at about 3 p.m., the Divisional Police Officer of Etete Division radioed the State Police Command headquarters and informed it that thugs and hoodlums had attacked Golden Tulip Hotel and were attacking guests, which prompted for a quick reinforcement to the scene. 7, that the attackers fled the scene upon sighting the presence of the Nigerian police personnel and the victims were rescued and taken to the State Police Command at about 4 p.m. for the record of their complaints. 8, that among the victims rescued were 7 newly elected members of the Edo State House of Assembly. And 9, that the Nigerian police did not arrest, neither detain any elected member of the State House of Assembly as insinuated, and that effort was being intensified to arrest and bring the attackers to book. Members-elect of the State House of Assembly. The ad hoc committee met with the aggrieved members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly on Thursday, 18th July 2019, in meeting room 204 of the Senate New Wing National Assembly Complex. They both made oral and written submission through their spokesman, Mr. Washington Osifo, member-elect representing Uhumode State Constituency, as follows. 1, that the genesis of the crisis emanated from their insistence that members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly should be allowed to elect their principal officers without interference or input from the executive arm of the state led by the governor. 2, that the governor planned to install his anointed candidate as the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, which they vehemently rejected and resulted to the purported illegal inauguration of the State House of Assembly. 3, that the governor acted in complete violation of Section 105, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which requires the state governor to issue proclamation for the first sitting of the State House of Assembly immediately after being sworn in. 4, that the governor of Edo State has been in office for 2.5 years and ought to have issued the proclamation for the inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly immediately after the expiration of the 6th Assembly on Thursday, 6th June 2019. That their pleas to the governor to issue the proclamation did not yield positive results, which resulted in their decision to hold a press conference at the State NUJ Secretariat on Monday, 17th June 2019, pleading with concerned Nigerians to advise the governor to issue the proclamation for the inauguration of the State House of Assembly, as it affects the functions of the legislative arm of the state government. 6, that the purported inauguration of the State House of Assembly was conducted without their knowledge, as the clerk of the House of Assembly did not issue formal invitation, public notification for the inauguration, which has been the parliamentary tradition for the inauguration of a new assembly. 7, that none of the aggrieved members-elect received text messages or phone call from the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly informing them of the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly. 8, that the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly was compelled to inaugurate the House of Assembly when 4 members-elect were kidnapped and forcefully taken to the chamber of the State House of Assembly at about 9:30 p.m. on Monday, 17th June 2019, for the inauguration, and were joined by 5 members-elect loyal to the governor. Our interaction with the national chairman of our party, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. 1, that as a concerned stakeholder from Edo State and a lover of democracy, it necessitated his decision as an individual to intervene into the crisis of the Edo State House of Assembly by reaching out to all the parties involved and to broker a lasting solution to the impasse, which has not yielded the desired result to the reluctant actions of the state governor. 2, that the crisis in the Edo State House of Assembly is related to breach of law, lack of morality, and complete disregard for ethics. 3, that the proclamation letter for the inauguration of the State House of Assembly purportedly issued by the state governor was not properly done, and the members-elect of the State House of Assembly have not been informed about the possible inauguration of the State House of Assembly. 4, that some members-elect were forced to participate in the inauguration based on available facts that are within public domain. 5, that the state governor choose the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly. 6, that the action of the state governor is undemocratic and a breach of the Constitution. 7, that the abuse of power cannot guarantee peace, and that peace can only be ensured where justice prevails, and as such, the National Assembly should do the needful in bringing an end to the lingering issues and crises in the Edo State House of Assembly. Observations and findings of the committee. After exhaustive deliberations on the submissions and presentation by the stakeholders, as summarized above, the ad hoc committee made the following observations and findings. 1, there was a general consensus and agreement among the All Progressive Congress members in Edo State on the zoning arrangement proposed by the state chapter on the leadership of the State House of Assembly for Speaker and Deputy Speaker respectively. 2, there was disagreement or lack of consensus among stakeholders on the micro-zoning proposed by the State Working Committee of the APC for the position of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, respectively. 3. Proclamation letter was issued by the Governor of Edo State to the Clerk of the Edo State House of Assembly on Friday, 14th June 2019, for the inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly on Monday, 17th June 2019 for its first sitting. The proclamation letter did not indicate the time for the commencement of the inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly as required. 5. Going by its former definition, proclamation is defined by Oxford Dictionary as an act of making public statement or announcement in respect to a particular subject of great importance. 6. The notice and invitation for the inauguration of the State House of Assembly to members-elect was only pasted on the notice board of the State House of Assembly complex and via text messages. Therefore, there was no public media advertorials, both in print and electronic media. 7. The proclamation letter issued by the Edo State for the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly was not in tandem with known parliamentary best practices. 8. In the 5th and 6th Edo State House of Assembly, media adverts, print and electronic, were published notifying the members-elect and the public on the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly by the clerk. 9. The aggrieved members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly have categorically stated that none of them received text messages nor phone calls informing them of the inauguration of the Edo State House of Assembly on Monday, 17 June 2019. 10. No video clip or pictorial evidence clearly showing the inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly was provided by the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly to this committee. 11. The vote and proceedings of the inauguration day, Monday, 17 June 2019, as well as that of Monday, 24th June 2019, and Wednesday, 3rd July 2019 of the Edo State House of Assembly, all adjourned till Wednesday, 17 July 2019 as the next legislative day. 12. The copies of the other papers of the State House of Assembly are having uniform adjournment date of Wednesday, 17th July 2019, which deviates from parliamentary best practices as other papers do not contain adjournment dates. Also, other papers of Wednesday, 3rd July 2019 and Monday, 24th June 2019 do not contain any business of the day. 13. Justifiably, the other papers and votes and proceedings of the Edo State House of Assembly were received by this committee, were hurriedly prepared for submission to the ad hoc committee. As such, there were few legislative activities after the inauguration. 14. The Nigerian police was informed about the inauguration of the State House of Assembly on Monday, 17 June 2019 at 8 a.m. of the same date. 15. The Nigerian police did not arrest or detain any of the members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly rescued when hoodlums attacked the Golden Tulip Hotel where they were lodged. In view of the foregoing, the committee makes the following recommendation. The ad hoc committee thoroughly analyzed the submissions and presentation by stakeholders during its investigation and recommend the following. 1. That the Edo State Governor should issue a fresh proclamation letter for the proper inauguration of the 7th Edo State House of Assembly. 2. That the clerk to the Edo State House of Assembly should, in line with previous practice, formally inform all the 24 members-elect of the inauguration of the State House of Assembly upon receiving the proclamation letter through media adverts in both print and electronics in conformity with parliamentary best practices. 3. In the event that a new proclamation letter is not issued as recommended above within a period of 3 weeks, the National Assembly is at liberty to invoke Section 11, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Conclusion. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the ad hoc committee sincerely want to thank the Senate President, the leadership of this distinguished Senate, and my distinguished colleagues for this rare opportunity to serve in this capacity. I so present. Thank you.
Comment, Senator.
Well, that's a presentation by the committee investigating the crisis at the Edo State House of Assembly.
That's right.
Quite a number of points have been raised about what transpired in the House. And the recommendations are summarized in 3 points: that the governor issue a fresh proclamation for the 7th Assembly, that the clerk formally inform the lawmakers and also make announcement in print and of course electronic media as it should be, and that if this do not happen, then the House of Assembly can invoke the Constitution to then take over activities of the Assembly.
I like the way the House, restrained itself, from its earlier move of taking over, the activities at the Edo State House of Assembly. And this committee findings now, it depends on from which side of the divide you belong. Because to some it might be as a result of some influence from. I mean, we know who is involved.
I don't
here.
see any influence here.
But we know the parties that are involved.
Oh no,
here,
but I think this is very plain and simple. I think the governor did not follow through what he should have done. I mean, there was going to be an inauguration on Monday. You sent a notice or you called the clerk on Friday.
That's right.
To say there will be an inauguration on Monday.
There is no law that says this is the time that you can send the letter.
No, but what the
proclamation.
law says is that you have to inform the lawmakers and you have to inform the public by posting it in the print and electronic media. If the governor told the clerk on Friday, it was totally impossible.
But how do you know it's impossible?
That they would have made the announcement over the weekend?
Of course.
Why? What's the rush?
What is
and also
what is important is that he informs the lawmakers.
No, it's not just informing.
And he sent the letter to the clerk of the House on Friday.
No, it's not just informing. So what happened here is that the clerk, according to their investigation, sent text messages and calls to these lawmakers.
That's right.
But did not do what he should have done because according to the clerk, there was not enough time, which means that you would need some days, I mean, you don't just walk into any newspaper and say, I want this page, I want that page. There must be planning. Also, the governor, there was a limit of time during which he should have called for this proclamation, but it delayed for about 2.5 months.
So what I'm saying is there is no law that stipulates that this is the number of time that you need to give if you're issuing proclamation to.
But there is a workable time frame, and you certainly know that a Friday could not work against the Monday morning. It's a given.
As long as there is no time.
No, it's not about.
Nobody can blame the governor in this instance.
You can. I mean, you just heard them say that the clerk said there was not enough time, which means that these are just proceedings. This is a normal thing. You want to make an announcement in newspapers. But let's listen to Senator Dino Melai. He's got a comment on this one. Or rather, it's Roches Okorocha.
That's
yes,
right,
it's Roches Okorocha.
And I wonder if the National Assembly is not overreaching and interfering in a matter they shouldn't interfere. From the report said, from what I've heard here, it looks like we're eager to take over the Edo State House Assembly activities. Looking at the report of both the party, the clerk, and all that, you could see it looks like a family affair of APC, which leadership of APC should have found a way to resolve, and not us stepping in the matter that I think we do not have the jurisdiction to do so. Now, and there's no proof whatsoever that Edo State House Assembly is not functioning. We have had cases here, or even the Federal House, where messages were taken away, and no other National Assembly came from anywhere to take over our activities. I think this matter should not go within the Senate. We should try and, both of us who are the caucus of APC, should try and help out and see how to resolve a family matter rather than making it a National Assembly issue. We must never be eager to go and take over this. And that what's happening there is a failure of leadership completely. And they should resolve it. But for us to stand here now and talk about giving 3 weeks mandate, if the governor does not do that, I was once a governor. In the first place, it's insulting on the government of Edo State for us to sit here and give you mandate. If you don't do it within 3 weeks, then we'll slash you and take over your House Assembly. This is not proper. So I advise that we should look into this before we bring ourselves to ridicule of interfering in a matter that we shouldn't interfere, where we don't have jurisdiction. I so submit.
Senator Samuel, you raise your hand. Should I give it to someone else?
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Sam Egu, Ebonyi North, Secretarial District. Your Excellency, I rise to support the recommendation of the committee. I was a governor too. And being a governor does not mean you have to do the wrong thing. A situation where the clerk reported from the report of the ad hoc committee that the governor sent a letter that the proclamation will be done on the 17th by 3 p.m. But from the report of the Commissioner of Police, he said it was done by 9 p.m. Something done in the night is a secret meeting. It's suspect. It's undemocratic. There was a purpose for that, which was not good. A governor should be able to, if there is conflict among your members, or even within the party, a governor should come and make peace and reconcile and hear both parties. So for me, I think the governor did the wrong thing. Even for inauguration at the night by 9 p.m. is suspect. He's not the one. Yeah, so, excuse me. Mr. President, I hope I'm protected. No, I'm protected. Excuse me.
All right, arguments going on there.
As expected.
As expected. I knew this was coming. So the question is, did the governor do right,
right.
by sending, the letter for the proclamation on a Friday for an inauguration that should hold the following Monday? And Rochas Okorocha says it's an APC issue. Let them deal with it. Problem though is a legislator an extension of the party?
A big question.
Because all the 24 lawmakers are from the APC does not make it an extension of their party politics.
Well, we also know that politics is about interest. It's a game of interest, really. Those lawmakers service some people's interests. We cannot deny that. They're servicing some people's interests. And
but in this game, I think just one
will come to bear.
You see, I think we're not even giving them time to show us these interests. The interest play has not even started because they've not even been inaugurated properly. I think the governor just shot himself in the foot by not making a proper move.
But you know that we can't know more than the governor.
Why can't we? There was an investigation done.
This is politics, Wemimo.
No, yeah, but an investigation was done. Oops.
That a new proclamation is not issued as recommended above within a period of 3 weeks, the National Assembly is at liberty to invoke Section 11, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Leader amendment.
Senator Lawan has no time for it. Sounds like
ruled.
please.
He has ruled on it.
No time. All in favor say hi, and they've said hi.
The Senate has endorsed.
Yes, endorsed. So there's a 3-week
findings
ultimatum given to Governor Godwin Obaseki to issue a fresh proclamation to duly inaugurate.
Issue fresh proclamation.
Yes, but he said yesterday in the news that he was not going to do any such thing, but it's going to be really interesting now.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, Jeff. I represent the good people of Benue Northwest. My dear colleagues, I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, I'm referring to Section 105, subsection 3, the one that was mentioned even in this report. If I may read, it says, subject to the provision of this constitution, the person elected as the governor of the state shall have power to issue a proclamation for the holding of the first session of the State House of Assembly concerned immediately after it being sworn in, or for its dissolution as provided in this constitution. So there is nothing that indicates in this constitution that the proclamation ought to be published in certain media. So the fact that that has not been done does not infringe the constitution. So, and as a lawmaker and as a lawyer, I'm always very bothered about implementation of whatever that comes out of any legislative house. Now, if we allow these orders, these resolutions to carry...
Can I rule? You came under an order. Let me rule. As far as this issue is concerned, this has been laid to rest. The Senate has taken a decision, and let me say that this decision is in conformity with the decision the House of Representatives took 2 weeks ago. And I believe that our colleague, Senator Emmanuel Okajev, can bring this point of order at the appropriate time if it will do any good. But I believe that this resolution should be sent immediately so that 1 week is not in any way reduced by keeping the letters here. I think the National Assembly must always insist on the right things to be done, even by state governors. This is the home of democracy. This is the highest legislative chamber. When the National Assembly can query decisions even by presidents, I cannot see any reason why that when there is error, either misjudgment or something that actually is undemocratic, that the National Assembly should stay away from it. This motion was taken on the 10th of July. We had 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks, allowing for things to go through some kind of political process. But I think it has proved impossible. So I want to congratulate the Senate for coming to the rescue of democracy. And I believe that the message is very clear. We want this issue resolved. We are not in a hurry to take over. Actually, the 1 week is to allow for the proper thing to be done. And I pray that the proper thing will be done in the next 1 week.
All right, there. A ruling has just been given. I mean, he doesn't have time for, chats and chit-chat and back and forth.
That's right.
The House took a decision by voice vote to give the governor, I'm not sure now if he said 1 week or 3 weeks to issue.
If the recommendation is that 3 weeks, they're giving the state governor 3 weeks to issue a fresh proclamation and do things the right way. Otherwise, the activity of the state assembly will be taken over by the National Assembly. But what the Senate President Ahmed Lawan said is that they're giving this 1 week to be settled. That part is what I
that's the part
understand.
I don't understand. But let's listen to the majority leader of the House. He's got something to say on this too.
The second is Sabo Nanono from Kano. The third is Lai Mohammed from Quadry. Mr. President, distinguished senators, please recall that so far, please recall that so far, the Senate has concluded the screening of 40 nominees for presidential appointment. Senate will now resume the screening of the remaining 3 nominees.
40 ministerial nominees have been screened over the past 4 or 5 days.
That's right.
And we have 3 more to go. Sabo Nanono from Kano State. We have also, of course, Lai Mohammed from Kwara State to be also screened today. And who's the third? Got the names mixed up here. There are 3 more people left to be screened by the Senate today. And when this is done, that will be the wrap on the screening. And then, of course, they might just be confirmed today. So that's it. Once they're done, 40 gone, 3 more to go.
Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate President is now moving into the chair capacity, sitting as chair, President sitting as chair to sit over the screening of the nominees, and would, of course, begin the first. I anticipate that former Minister for Information might be first on the list.
Why do I think that this is going to be very fast and breezy?
Yeah, I think the first one is going to be chatty. I think they're just going to have a chat back and forth.
Yeah.
They should be done early today.
You know this praise singing and appraisal that they usually give? Mr. Nominee,
I know you from home.
Congratulate you. I know what you add to this administration.
That's right.
Excuse me, that's not me, by the way.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. so we're waiting. We're waiting to get this on the way. Hopefully, we'll be able to wrap this up as quickly as possible. And if there is going to be any confirmation, we're waiting to see how that will pan out as well. But currently, the senators are still discussing and arguing amongst themselves the debate about the Edo State House of Assembly issue, the committee's finding, and the ruling of the National Assembly. But whether they like it or not, they'll have to put that aside, because the real business of the day is about to, commence on the floor of the Senate.
The point of order raised by one of the senators is section 105(3), subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Let me read out to you. It says, subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the person elected as the governor of the state shall have power to issue a proclamation for the holding of the first session of the House of Assembly of the state concerned immediately after his being sworn in, or for his dissolution as provided by this section. So he didn't do so immediately after being sworn in.
Not immediately.
And then we can also argue about the time frame. Someone even said that the inauguration was done at 9 p.m. That the inauguration was billed to hold at 3 p.m.
That's right.
I mean, who starts the business of the day at 3 p.m.? And
that's even wrong.
That's even wrong by itself. But let's see if the governor would stoop to this. He's been given 3 weeks. The Senate President has asked that, the notice be forwarded to him immediately.
That's right.
Answer the House. The screening should start right away. The Senate President, sitting as chair, has just ruled that the screening can begin.
I think the Sergeant at Arms is going out right now to go and leading the first nominee, for the day. Once that is done, then we are set to go. But should I also repeat this, that the floor of the Senate is quite scanty, and I'm really not sure what could have caused this, really, because even if you're going to screen one nominee, it's still a nominee.
It is important.
You should be there, and I'm guessing that the first nominee is in already, making his way.
I'm disappointed. I really thought that Lai Mohammed would come in first. Oh no! I could have put my money on it though. I thought it was, going to start off the day for us on a very interesting note. But here, my airbag has just been punched. Well, the screening is about to start. The first nominee for the day is being walked into the red chambers. He doesn't have so many people with him. However, unlike some others, some with about 10, 15, he's got quite a number. He's got quite a number. About 10 of them, I think, also walking with him into the red chambers. As soon as he settles in, he makes his opening statement, and then he can screen. He's taking the opening bow. Can we call this the opening bow? So for those of you who plan to become ministers, so learn.
Just go and learn how to take a bow.
Just watch and learn. You start by taking a bow. Taking, I think, about 3 bows. One to the, seat of the Senate President. The other, 2 to both sides or 3 sides of the red chambers. As soon as they're ready,
All right.
We believe. I believe it is Sabo Nanono, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, no, I don't think so. But let's see whose name this is. Very soon we'll be able to put a name to all these faces once and if they are confirmed.
And hopefully real questions and real answers will be, served today at this screening. So far, just a couple of them have been, give or take, screened. Uchechukwu, Oga.
He was the first and he got the toughest hit.
It was duly screened. It was screened. Tough questions and maybe not direct answers from him, but at least it was duly screened. And then this other one, I wouldn't call it screening per se. I would call it question and answer session. Talking about Babatunde Raji Fashola, who was on the floor of the Senate yesterday.
Oops.
It was a long session, he didn't get tired. I mean, the senators got tired because he wouldn't stop answering the questions, and he didn't just give any one liner as an answer. He will go straight into it, and he will explain everything from the beginning to the end. In short, what majority of his answers, bordered on funding. I mean, if you want infrastructure, if you want good infrastructure, then we should be ready to pay, dearly for it as a country. And according to him, we've not been doing that. And that was responsible, according to him, for contractors not being mobilized to site, contractors leaving the site. And of course, he also emphasized the need to have, safety and security for these contractors and laborers that are working our roads, because according to him, most of the roads were left because of security concerns as well.
Well, Saleh Maman is standing right now. He's the first nominee to be screened today. He's from Taraba State. He's engineer, Saleh Maman. And he's the first on the list. Let's listen to him. He's making his opening statement. We'll be back to review his speech to the House.
Extend my gratitude to one of the senators who is also my former boss and my friend, of which I serve and was a consultant under one of his businesses, that is engineering, Dr. Udo Jikalu, and one or two senators that I work under them. Those people are detribalized people that I can testify before this honorable Hello Chambers. Let me also recognize the presence of my state chairman and his executive.
Engineer,
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Leave out your state chairman and his executive. You came along with them. Just address the Senate.
With due respect, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm very happy to be here, to be honored, with great privilege to appear before the distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a ministerial nominee. Permit me also to extend my sincere gratitude to the President and the administration of Muhammadu Buhari permit me also to extend my gratitude to the President of the Senate, the senators, for appearing before the distinguished senators for clearance. Both privileges I appreciate and I will cherish forever. Distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my CV is before you. All my dossier and my political antecedents is here before you. Nevertheless, let me just seize that little opportunity to also highlight a little bit about myself. My name is Engineer Salim Mamman. I was born there 1958, 2nd October, in a village called Lau, local government. And I grew up in Jalingo. I started my education career in Kano. I am electrical engineer by profession. I started from the scratch. I started from technical and vocational training school and graduated as an artisan, moved to technical college and graduated as a technician, moved to polytechnic and also graduated as technologist and graduated as a potential engineer. In addition, I also read management course where I graduated and specialized in human resources, master's degree in human resources. My working experience, I worked with the Taraba State government for almost 21 years and retired as assistant director, stroke, head of design and construction. My political antecedents include pioneer chairman of the current CPC, which now metamorphosed into APC, and I also contested for Senate 2015. I lost. I was a member 2015.
Introductions there by Salim Amman from Taraba State. He's a nominee. Also, I mean, his introduction is quite.
Yeah,
he's taking his time.
And it's still going to go a long way before. With what I'm seeing, really, it's not. Yeah. It hasn't even started.
No, he's not in a hurry. And spent the first few moments thanking everyone he came with, and the Senate president had to butt in and say, "No, just,
engineer.
Yeah, you came in with them. Don't greet them. Just engineer. Just go ahead." And give us what you have. So after this introduction, the Senate would ask some questions from him if they want to. Or he could take a bow and go. But we need to take a very short break for the news. When we come back, we'll tell you more about what's going on. Keep listening to us. It's the live coverage of the ministerial screening on 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're live on Facebook and also on YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. You can also leave us your comments and thoughts on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. When we come back, we'll take some of your calls on what's happened so far on the floors of the Red Chamber. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
And I'm Sheriff Quadry.
We'll be back shortly. Oh, and we just took the news to tell you what's going on around the country and around the world. While in Nigeria here, the screening of the ministerial nominees is ongoing. In fact, wrapping up because the second nominee for the day is right now standing to make his own comments. He's making his opening comments right now before he will take questions from the senators.
That's right.
I'm Wemimo Adewuni. Welcome back.
And I'm Sheriff Quadry. Thank you for joining us. You can, hook up with us on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info FM.
That's right. Let's head over to the Senate to listen to what he's saying in his opening statement. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info.
I also attended the prestigious Advanced Management Program at Harvard in May 1994. I attended various courses at World Bank Organization, at the Administrative College of India, seminars on various world capital market organized by Business Research Institute International in October 1981 to 1982. Various seminars organized by Chartered Institute of Bankers Nigeria, Fellow Institute of Management Consultant, and the member Nigerian Institute of Management. I also attended the prestigious forum of Forbes Annual Forum 1997 and 1998, both at Los Angeles and Phoenix, USA. My employment record, I started with a grade C clerk with Central Bank of Nigeria, January to September 1969. Then I went as lecturer at Institute of Administration, ABU Zaria. Then from there, I resigned and joined New Nigerian Development Company in Kaduna. Thereafter, I was made Managing Director of Kano State Investment and Properties Limited under late Abubakar Rimi government. From there, I resigned, and I proceeded to Bank of North, where I grew from an assistant general manager to executive director, and I left somewhere in 1990. I was later appointed general manager and the managing director of African International Bank, respectively. I have been a member of several board companies, most of them institutional representation, but there are some that are personal representation. I think my CV has attested to that. I also serve on many committees at the state government level, Governing Council, Kano State Foundation, Subcommittee on Privatization and Commercialization, at a Jama'ar River Basin Development Authority Commercialization, Kano State Privatization and Commercialization as chairman, member Kano State Elders Forum, chairman May 11th Crisis in Kano, and chairman Arewa Constitutional Forum, Kano chapter. I have been active in politics, and as you can see, I was the chairman of CPC Elders Forum, Kano State, chairman CPC Merger Committee, chairman APC Merger Committee, deputy financial secretary and member, ACF National Working Committee, Petroleum Kano Youth Promotion Council, and so on and so on. My career in the financial institution, both development and commercial, ran a space of about 17 years. But in the year 2000, I retired to the farm, and I have been in the farming business for the last 40 or so years. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Well, before we take the questions, let me welcome members of the House of Representatives who accompanied the nominee, including, of course, the one and only Nasiru Gabasawa.
Well, right there, Sabun Anunu from Kano State. He's being screened right now. He has also, I mean, this is a very full profile right here. And he's answering questions now, would be answering questions from the floor of the House right now. Sabo Nanuno is from Kano State. He was born 1952 in Kano and has, of course, had his time through the political scene for years. Let's take comments from the House now.
I have two questions. One, I just want to know your opinion. The other one, I want you to give us a suggestion in this country. For your opinion, do you think Nigeria is a rich country?
Nearly 2 months after President Muhammadu Buhari's inauguration, 43 names have been handed to the President of the Senate for the screening to commence. Join 99.3 Nigeria Info from Wednesday, 24th of July at 10 a.m. for live coverage, expert analysis, and interviews. Nigeria Info. Keep listening. This is the live coverage of the Ministerial screening on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, we apologize for the bad sound there. We hope that the sound gets better and that we can get back to hear the questions being asked. Sabo Nanuno from Kano State. He's the second nominee to be screened today, right. Day 5. After him will be one more.
That will be Lai Mohammed.
That will be Lai Mohammed. Questions have been asked of him. We're working on the sound so you could hear these questions and his responses also to the questions raised on the floor of the House. Today we hope, I mean, most likely, we're not sure yet, though, if the Senate will take a break at 1, because there's just one more nominee after this.
That's right.
So we're not sure if they'll take that break at 1 to then come back at 2, or if they'll just
to wrap up, or they will just try and wrap things up. I mean, it's not that they can't do it. Absolutely, they can do it. But we have the audio signal back now. Let's rejoin the Senate.
I think what is needed to move forward. 1, let us have the political will and the desire to move forward. 2, let us forge unity among ourselves and organize ourselves for the challenges ahead. 3, I would like to point out, if you take the agricultural sector alone and we organize it in the way and the manner that it can be developed, we are likely to be the richest country, at least in the West African sub-region and in the African region, and also in most of the countries in Europe. But I think our problem is to have a defined, proper political will that will assist us in moving forward. I wish to state that the GDP of this country is about 70% of the total GDP. Yeah. Of the 70% of the total GDP of the West African countries. And most of them depend on us, on food supplies and other things. In fact, it is said, for every dollar that we import things from outside, about $30 goes to the West African sub-region. So I think with the proper political will, the sky for Nigeria is the limit. Thank you very much.
Senator Eladu Sankara.
Thank you. Presenting Jigawa now. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, our people said, if you want to know a man, or if you want to know a person, ask his neighbor. I think it happened that I'm from Jigawa State. Nanono is from Kano State. I know Nanono. He's a very nice person. He's a good leader. He led us since during PDP. And he achieved a lot during his activities in Kano State. Therefore, those who did not know him, they have to know the person called Nanono. He's highly respected, a man of integrity. Mr. Nominee, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I support?
Senator Kabir Ga, Senator Baro Jibril, and Senator Shekarau, Ibrahim Shekarau, in that order.
Mr. President, sitting in chair, my distinguished colleagues, I am Kabir Gaya, represent the people of Kano South from Kano State. I would like to appreciate and thank President Muhammadu Buhari for choosing you to serve in this cabinet. I believe your wealth of experience will be added to the governance of this administration. Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, this gentleman is our elder. I've learned a lot from him. When I started my politics early, he was one of my mentors. Since early 1988 when I started politics. We value him, we cherish him. Not only that, he's an alumni of ABU, an alumni of Harvard University, a lecturer in ABU area, an MD in Kano State Investment, MD African International Bank, also to capital, and also Mr. President of the Senate, I'm so glad that he's a nominee. He, just like Buhari, is a non-corrupt officer or a non-corrupt person who we very value and cherish. I wish you best of luck, and I appeal to my colleagues to let him buy and go and serve us as a new Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Baro Jibril.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as the chairman of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. President, there's a saying that goes this way: show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. This man, the nominee, is a close associate of President Muhammadu Buhari. Therefore, I don't have to tell you what he stands for. He's a man that is upright, that has integrity, that's always passionate in serving his people. Wherever you see him, if you ask him what he's doing there, or if you find out what he's doing there, you will get to know that he's there serving his people. If you further go forward to ask, where is he coming from? You find out that he's coming from somewhere that he had to serve his people. If you also ask him or find out where he's going to, you find out that if he leaves this very point, he's going to serve his people somewhere. So he's a man that's always there to serve his people. You can see his resume, very rich. He had worked in several areas, in different capacities, where he was able to serve meritoriously. And after he sojourned in several sectors of the Nigerian economy, and he got retired, he said, look, I'm retired, but I'm not tired. He's still passionate. He's still passionate in serving his people, and he decided that he would go into agriculture, where he's working with our rural dwellers who are peasant farmers, always rendering help to them by helping them to source for fertilizer and other farming implements that they don't have. He's a man of honor, and he's the kind of person we want to see serving the people of this country, because he's selfless. In fact, he's one of our icons. We look up to them. The young generation of our youth, our men and women in Kano, look up to them as icons, as they inspire us. Therefore, my colleagues, I don't want to bore you so much talking about this man. I'm sure since I told you at the initial that he's a friend, an associate of our president, President Buhari, you know what he stands for. Please, I urge you to allow this selfless, a man of honor, integrity, to please bow and go. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Well, that's the second. That's the second senator singing praises of Sabo Nanono, who is a nominee from Kano State. He's a retired banker. He was managing director and chief executive of African International Bank way back in 2005. He's got a BSc management from Ahmadu Bello University. So he's a retired banker. So we're not sure which portfolio.
He said he retired and went back to farm, and he's been farming for 40 years. I'm not sure I got that information correctly, but he said maybe 40 or 14. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure, but he's not a young man.
No,
really.
He's not. He looks quite elderly. From the details we see here, he was born in 1946. If this tallies up, because it's really hard finding information about him online.
Right.
It's not so visible up there. But one more senator has praises to sing of him. I'm sure after this one, he'll simply take a bow and go. But let's see.
To another. There is no doubt that certainly this nominee, if approved, and Mr. President brings him on board into the Federal Executive Council, he will add value to the workings of Mr. President. I therefore, Mr. President, join my other colleagues in pleading with distinguished senators to grant this nominee on the basis of his experience in managing affairs of the economy of the nation, to grant him the honor of taking a bow and go. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, a third senator just moved that he be asked to
take a bow.
To take a bow.
And go. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The ayes have it. There you go. So it's just taking a bow. He'll take a bow and go. He practically answered no questions. He had 3 people speak in his favor with high recommendations and commendations.
Glowing.
Glowing. Yeah, commendations. If you have this commendation in your CV, you should get amazing jobs.
Anywhere. Any kind of job.
Someone said if you see him going, he's going to serve the people. If you see him coming, is coming from serving the people. Anywhere you find him, he's
always serving the people.
I found that pretty hilarious. If you meet him on the road and you ask him where he's coming from.
Really interesting.
Really interesting.
Well, his entourage, though, we learned earlier that they are members of the House of Reps who accompanied him. So definitely he's an elder statesman. And from the look of things, really, he is. He is. Because the glowing accolades being showered on him by some senators tell the story entirely, really.
Yeah.
So
If he truly was born in 1946, then he'll be 73 years old currently. If this profile is correct. He looks elderly, but
what ministry do you think will be befitting?
Oh, he says he's been farming for how many years? So I don't know.
So we're looking at a potential replacement for Audiobi.
Well, they didn't
Who's
ask
always
him
been
any
around
questions,
forever
and
as well.
yeah, farming. I mean, being a farmer, I mean, with your own plot of land or portion of land does not mean you know about industrial agriculture or you know where to move.
Modern agriculture.
Yes, where to move Nigeria to in terms of agriculture.
He's educated. Maybe that's a plus.
Oh, shouldn't he be?
Yeah, he's educated. That's a plus. I mean, he did well for himself.
Well,
managing a bank back in 2005. So maybe plus being a farmer, he might just pass for our next minister for agric.
We just have to keep our fingers crossed. I mean, anything could happen since there are no names. No portfolios to the names.
That's right.
Anything could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Lai Mohammed, who would be coming up next,
who is stepping in right
stepping
now.
in his signature white agbada, and with I mean this it looks like the same set of escorts
and all the escorts again.
They're back. It looks like a reception. I mean, you go bring in the father of the bride and you go bring in the mother. You know how they do that at the reception. But he's got an entourage with him. Yes.
You know what I think about some ministers? I think some of them will have to retain their portfolio. The portfolio that they managed in the first term of President Muhammadu Buhari. Lai Mohammed, for instance, I strongly have this feeling that he will retain. He will be retained.
But what do you think Festus Keyamo would have?
I'm thinking
after his presentation.
I'm thinking Attorney General.
Yeah, after his presentation, and I really felt like he's been listening to Nigeria before. His presentation that day was, I mean, it was really impressive.
Yeah.
The only problem being that I'm not sure he'll be able to do any of the things he mentioned because it's not in his purview.
I am sure he will not be able to.
In fact, the way the lawmakers were looking at him that day,
I'm almost 105% sure he will not be able to.
It's not left to him to change those things he wants to change.
Exactly. Listen, we have good ideas in this country.
We
have fantastic ideas. But the problem is, what is stopping us from implementing these ideas? What is stopping us from implementing those reports that we have, piling up dust somewhere, you know?
Those are the questions we keep asking. Lai Mohammed is gearing up. He's ready to give his opening remarks. Standing on the podium. This will be the last nominee.
That's right.
He's the 43rd nominee to be screened. And today could just be the final,
someone said it will be grilled, and I'm wondering, grilled over what? I mean, what are you going to grill me over?
Let's wait and see. The Senate President sitting as chair, welcoming Lai Mohammed to give his opening statements.
Alhaji Lai Mohammed represents Kwara State. Alhaji Mohammed, on behalf of all my colleagues here, I want to welcome you to the Senate. And we have copies of your CV before us. You can still highlight anything that you feel needs special attention in the CV, or indeed anything that you might have omitted but is of significance for this exercise. Before you address the Senate, let me recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, and of course, someone who once served in this Senate, Senator Samuel Jibola, who is also on this delegation, and stalwarts of the ruling party, who are also on this entourage and delegation. The nominee, you can address the Senate. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Senate President, Your Excellency, the Deputy Senate President, principal officers of the Senate, distinguished senators, and in particular, the three senators representing Kwara State,
namely Senator Dr. Yaya Oduriegbe, Senator Sadiq Umar, and the senator representing my own senatorial district, Senator Architect Lola Ashiru. Permit me first to thank Almighty Allah that has made me witness today. And I also want to put on record my appreciation to my governor, who is here with me, but more importantly, my gratitude to Mr. President, who has deemed it fit to once again nominate me as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My pledge to Mr. President and Nigeria is that if I'm confirmed as a minister, I will redouble my effort in the service of my country to justify its confidence in me. Your Excellency, Mr. Senate President, there's only one small issue I want to draw your attention to in my CV. It's about my name. My name, as it appears on your CV, is my correct name, which is Lai Mohammed. Please don't believe what they say on the social media. They call me all sorts of names there. I used to ignore it until one day when my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, "Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why did they call you Liar Mohammed?" I looked at him. What do you say to a 7-year-old son? How do you explain politics to him? So I said, "No, don't mind them. They are the bad guys." He said, "You mean like Joker, like Bane, and I think another name?" I had no idea what he meant, but I said yes. Later, I found out that those names were actually the names of their cartoon bad guys. So I thank you very much, Mr. President and the district members. I'm ready for your questions. Thank you very much.
Senator Mr.
President, Assistant and Chair, distinguished colleagues, my name is Ibikunle Amosun. I represent Ogun Central. Mr. President, let me thank you. It gives me great pleasure to be given this opportunity to speak about Egbon Lai Mohammed. The gentleman in front of us needs little or no introduction. He's a lawyer. He's so many things rolled into one. But the one I will want to dwell on this afternoon is the fact that this is somebody that has selflessly served us as a nation. He has served our party. He's a very, very fiercely loyal party man. And you heard him when he was even talking here. He has carried the can severally. Governance is a very difficult job, and it's a thankless job. He's been vilified. You will hear a lot of things about him. But one thing you cannot take away from him is the fact that whatever assignment that is given, you will see him serving diligently, loyally too. So, distinguished colleagues, we have talked among ourselves here. I know my brothers from the northwest, from Quadry, they will feel that, oh, why are we saying this? But we met ourselves and we all agreed that Alhaji Lai Mohammed should be allowed, really. Everybody I know is a lawyer, tested, trusted. In fact, there is no discipline. There is no discipline that we want to take him on that he will not be able to thoroughly discharge himself. So I don't think we should indeed begin to belabor and be asking questions. So he deserved to be asked to take a bow and go. He has done his bit and he will continue to do his bit. So let me congratulate you for well-deserved renomination. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Senator Aliyu Magatakar Dawamako.
Mr. President, serving as chair, I wish to concur with the last speaker on what affects the nominee before the Senate today. That Lai Mohammed can be said by instant as an achiever. As our spokesman for the party, did excellently well. And as Minister of the government of our federation of this country, last 4 years, did wonderfully well, extremely well. So that, I want to appeal to our colleagues to consider the service this gentleman who was, what he has done, officially and privately, and allow him to take a bow and go. I so submit, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you.
Senator Bamidele Opeyemi Makian.
Mr. President, seated as the chair, distinguished colleagues, I am Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District. I want to thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to also contribute. And I listened to the first two speakers, my leaders, former governor, chieftains of the ruling party that has also produced me. And of course, what I would like to emphasize, Mr. President, is that the nominee standing before us here today represents two things that Nigerians will be happy to see. One, a litmus test to our distinguished colleagues from the minority parties. Because more than anyone, Mr. Chairman, Alhaji Lai Mohammed was on the firing line as a politician, as a party man, as the spokesperson of the party. He managed a very difficult transition process, which for the first time in this country, changed a lot of things. The reason, part of the reason, Mr. Chairman, that you and I, and many of us here, can be seen as gentlemen by our distinguished colleagues from the minority party is because we didn't have cause to call them names. We didn't have cause to say anything to them. We would always, be friendly with ourselves. Because Lai Mohammed had to do the job for everybody. Sir, in the spirit of the new understanding, and what Nigerians have witnessed in the last 1 week on the floor of this parliament, there cannot be a better proof on the part of our distinguished colleagues on the other side than to encourage. Of course, if Alhaji Lai Mohammed said he had suffered some reputation problem in court, it was to be expected. And standing before all of us today, I know is an extreme gentleman, a gentleman of gentlemen. For 4 years, Mr. Chairman, I was privileged to serve with Alhaji Lai Mohammed under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as governor of Lagos State. He was part of the blueprint that was developed for the state. And I tell you, sir, even in the next 20 years, it doesn't matter who is governor of Lagos State, you only need to be civilized and decent. There's a blueprint developed under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that will make anyone shine as governor. Sir, standing before us here, is a brilliant gentleman. He was at the University of Ife, he had a second-class upper. He was at the University of Lagos, he had a second-class upper. He was at the Nigerian Law School, he had a second-class upper. He's a journalist, he's a lawyer, he's a party man, a party administrator. And as a public servant, he has done well. He also had to manage information, two difficult jobs. He managed information for a party that was struggling to take over. And managing information in a period of regime change is something that will not make anyone look good to the other side. And beyond that, you also have to manage information for a government that was coming to fight corruption, to do a lot of things. No, it wasn't an enviable assignment. But here he is, standing. I just want to say, sir, that President Buhari saw the need to compensate this gentleman by ensuring that based on his academic qualification and his pedigree, he's offered a platform to serve in public service. And this distinguished Senate, 4 years ago, confirmed him. I am joining the first two speakers and providing a basis beyond being a gentleman to say this distinguished Senate found Alhaji Lai Mohammed fit and proper to serve in the cabinet of the government of this country 4 years ago. And today, even in the spirit of the new understanding, in the spirit of the bipartisan interaction that is in overriding public interest and in the best interest, of our nation, that I know at the end of the day we'll be proud and in another 4 years we'll have something to show for what is happening here and for this new understanding. I just want to say that I joined the first two speakers and let Alhaji Lai Mohammed take a bow and go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Ahmed Sani Musa.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, my distinguished colleagues, I stand to eulogize Alhaji Lai Mohammed for being a true Nigerian. I came across Lai Mohammed when he was nobody, and I was struggling, and he stood by me. Personally, I want to use this opportunity to let my other colleagues know how compassionate this gentleman is when it comes to reasoning. Because I was detained, and while I was detained, nobody knew where I was. And my younger brother got to him, and he said, no way. He started pursuing this thing up to the extent of getting to the Undersecretary of African Affairs in the United States. And they intervened just because of this gentleman, and I was released. So I will want to use this opportunity to thank you, and thank you more for the job you have done to this country. There is no better information manager that will have managed the transition in 2015 than you, and you have done it very well. I wish to call on my colleagues to give this gentleman the honor he deserved by towing the line of my other colleagues that have spoken earlier, to tell this gentleman to take a bow and go. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Senators Ibrahim Oloragbe, Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar, and Lola Ashur in that order.
Mr. President, sitting as the chair of the Committee of the Whole, highly respected distinguished colleagues, my name is Ibrahim Yaya Oloriagbe. I represent the people of Kwara State. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, let me start by appreciating every member of these chambers, particularly those who have spoken about our leader, who is a nominee here, and to appreciate and thank Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for finding it worthy to nominate the nominee, and particularly to thank him also for recognizing our special need in Quadry by providing us and giving us 2 ministerial nominees, and for us, for you, our colleagues, for supporting us on the 2 nominees. I wouldn't want to waste our time. I wouldn't want to speak on most of the public knowledge about the nominee Alhaji Rauf Olaiwola Muhammad. But to underscore what some of us here may not know about him again, we as Quadrans, it's a public knowledge in Nigeria that when the history of democracy will be written in Nigeria, particularly during the 2019 election, Quadry is a special case. Quadry was a state in Nigeria that everybody looked up to, and Quadry came up to define the true meaning of democracy as the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Because the people took their destiny into their hands to liberate themselves. And they came with a mantra, which everybody knows in Nigeria as Sotoge. And that mantra, as well as the movement, came about when the whole government, from local government to the federal level, the elected people, with the exception of 4 councillors out of 193, 1 House of Assembly member, moved to another party. The gentleman before us remained the highest political office holder in Kwara State. Hence, he became the leader of the party. He demonstrated certain qualities that are unusual and uncommon. One, he had the opportunity to say he wants to be anything as far as elected office is concerned. But he took leadership to say what is most important is Quadry. He said, I'm not going to contest for anything. We'll create opportunity and level playing ground. What we need is to lead the people to be able to achieve their aims. So he was selfless, he was humane, and he demonstrated humility. And that's why we are able to produce a complete winning of all positions in Quadry for the party. Quadry, as I speak today, despite what we lost in 2015, we have all the councillors, we have all House of Assembly members, and all National Assembly members, due to the leadership provided by Alhaji Lai Mohammed. He was selfless, he was humane, and was simple. So therefore, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I join and thank my other previous colleagues, and thank you sincerely for the honor you have done us, and you have done Quadry. And he has demonstrated here. You can see our governor is here. We have almost all members of House of Rep, and we have several leaders of Quadry. We are one in Quadry, and we are united. And through your support in confirming him and the other nominee, we continue to assure Nigerians that Quadry will demonstrate to Nigeria the true meaning of democracy. Mr. President, thank you very much for honoring us to accept that Alhaji Lai Mohammed takes a bow and goes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Sadiq Suleiman Omar.
Mr. President, sitting as chair of the Committee of the Whole, my most distinguished colleagues, I am Sadiq Sulaiman Umar. I represent the decent people of Kwara North. Mr. Nominee, congratulations. For Mr. President to have found you worthy to come and work with him again. Let me say something that is very important that most people don't take note of. Running up to 2019 election, when the body politic temperature was rising, Alhaji Lai Mohammed responded with higher sense of restraint and maturity. His responses were measured instead of proportional, which is typical of powerful persons. And he was powerful. He was in a powerful position, but he exercised restraint, which dropped the temperature of the body politic at that time. Thank you very much for that service to our nation. Mr. President, I stand proudly here today to present our product, who is a full package. Yes, it's a complete package full option. Somebody said earlier, he's a brilliant lawyer, a brilliant linguist, and a brilliant PR professional. And it's evident, all universities said it. His minimum standard is second class upper. That is not more. And it's important this picture comes out clearly so that the younger generation should know that excellence is celebrated in Nigeria. Having said this, Mr. President, in fact, I'm tempted to say that every senator seated here should ask our nominee at least three questions because he will answer any question. In fact, even impossible questions, he will answer it. However, because of the fundamental fact that if there is any Nigerian that has been interviewed, interrogated, questioned the most, it is Alhaji Lai Mohammed. So what are we going to ask him again? Mr. President, I ask the Senate to ask him to take a bow and go. Thank you.
Senator Lola Ashru.
Mr. President, we thank Almighty God for bringing us close to the end of this screening. And we are lucky at the end of it to have somebody like Alhaji Lai Mohammed as the last person. In the Bible, it said, the last in the kingdom of God will be the first. And in the Quran too, we all know the meaning of the last prophet, the seal of all prophethood. I'm happy today that we are having our man, a man of meritorious service, who has served Nigeria in all capacity, who has served our great party, APC, as the spokesperson. We are lucky to have him today as the nominee of Mr. President. And I am very, very confident, just like he did in the first time, he will do better now. I know Alhaji Lai Mohammed very well. We share the same senatorial district. In fact, his town is a stone thrown from my town. Uro is regarded as a citadel in Quadry State. It's like Rome. And Alhaji Lai Mohammed is like a Roman. And we all know the wisdom of Rome of those days. He has all the wisdom you will expect. And I'm very confident he will do us proud. Mr. President, I will join my colleague and all the senators here to ask him to take a bow. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Is it the wish of the Senate that the nominee takes a bow and go? Yes. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The ayes have it. That's it. Lai Mohammed has been told to take a bow and go. That's a wrap on his screening. It was almost no screening, but they feel he's done a good job for the past 4 years and impressive work enough to congratulate him on his nomination. So, I mean, that's it.
Praises and praises and praises all the way from Lai Mohammed. For Lai Mohammed from the senators, and it's quite interesting. At least they are done for the day in terms of screening in court.
Yeah, screening in courts. That's what it is. We have comments from Facebook and Twitter about this screening. We're waiting to see if the House will pass and just confirm all the nominees. That could be something they do today. They haven't gone on their usual break, which means they're waiting to wrap
things up
once and for all. Alhaji Lai Mohammed is leaving the Senate, the Red Chambers right now, shaking hands and thanking all those who have thanked him. It's a time to return the thanks. And he is on his way out with his entourage. Oh, goodness. High fives, low fives, handshakes, thumbs ups. and other works. So after this, the Senate might just move back to plenary. Take a review of what has happened. And if the ayes have it, confirm all the nominees. And that will be the end of the show.
That's right. And we want to sincerely thank you for joining our broadcast, the coverage of the screening of the ministerial nominees by the Senate, which started last week, Wednesday. And everything is looking to be wrapped up any moment now. We thank you so much for joining us live on radio and online on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate your time.
We see all your comments also on Twitter. Murtaza Miki Yusuf says, today's session at the screening, ministerial nominees was mellowed down, but the take a bow and leave is their trademark in this screening, and this is going nowhere. Kinde Adetule says, I don't know what kind of screening is being conducted by Senate. Screening without portfolio is just a show of appearance. Also, Judge says, I want to say a big thank you to Nigeria Info for comprehensive coverage of the ministerial affirmation, not screening.
We thank you too.
Take a bow and go, don't worry. By the Senate, no other station except yours brought this live to us. Thanks for being ahead of others as always. We thank you also for listening. We have comments also in on Facebook. You've all been live all day. Thank you all for being here. Plenty comments on Facebook. Where do we start from? Olakwade Sharafa says, Chairman, your report is inconclusive. I believe this is from the Edo Investigative Committee.
Right.
The clerk is culpable in the act and should also be sanctioned. If you do not recommend disciplinary action for the erring civil servant, and would you forestall such acts in the future? And on you go. Okay. So that does give us a minute on this one right here. All right, let's head back to the Senate and see if there will be a confirmation of all the nominees, and that will be a wrap.
Of Senator Godswill Akpabio. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Would the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Honorable Emeka Nwajuba? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Honorable Rotimi Amechi? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Dr. Oboneya Onu? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Senator Adeleke Mamora? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Architect Olamileko Adegbite? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
That's the confirmation going on. The Senate presidents, they're asking the House if they would like to confirm each nominee. He has to read through all the names and they need to approve all the names.
Of Adamu. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Sharon Ikezo? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Would the Senate approve the nomination of Senator Tayo Alashadura? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mustafa Baba Shehuri? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Abubakar D. Aliyu? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of
Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi, retired. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Timmy Pre Silva? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Ramatu Tijani? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Richard Adeni Adebayo? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Ambassador Zubairu Dada? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Chris Ingige? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mohammed Abdullahi? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mr. Sunday Dare? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Muhammad Musa Bello? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Saadia Umar Farouk? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Abubakar Malami? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Senator Hadi Sirika? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Sage Henry? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Pauline Talent? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Ali Isa Ibrahim Pantami? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Muhammad Umaygali Dingeti? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Senator Bemishola Saraki? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Ogbeni Rauf Aragbeshola? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Godi J.D. Agba? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Ambassador Mariam Katagu? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Clement Agba? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Geoffrey Enyama? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Engineer Salah Mamman? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Sabo Nanono? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Alhaji Lai Mohammed? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Well, the Senate has just done a round of confirmation for the 43. Once the majority leader speaks, they move the motion to adopt this.
That's right.
And that's it.
And discharge our constitutional and national responsibilities. I would like to move that the chair move to plenary to report progress. I so move, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. However, reluctantly, I second the motion that, because I don't want us to finish, I want us to continue. I do second the motion, ably moved by the majority leader.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Well, we can say that it's a wrap. The Senate President sitting as chair is moving into plenary right now. They have just adopted and confirmed all 43 nominees.
That's right.
He's moving into plenary where it would read the account of the proceedings in the past 5 days, and a final adoption would be made.
Screening exercise and the
After this, of course, it's a wrap on the screening for all 43 nominees.
And well, congratulations to the ministers, because they've been confirmed.
Yes, we can ably call them ministers
now. Call them
now.
ministers.
Yeah.
So they are not designates again. They are ministers now because they've been confirmed by the Senate as required by law. Now, what is important now is outside of the chambers, which is, of course, the portfolios that will befit each and every one of these names on the list. That is very, very important. And I'm sure that you are as eager as I am, because I am eager to see who is going to handle what ministry.
We are looking forward to it. I mean, it's been over 2 months, going into 3 almost. 2 months right now since this administration started. It's high time we had ministers to push on and make work. I mean, we have to just let work start. These ministers will be handling different portfolios. Some will be ministers of state.
That's right.
While others will handle the ministries directly. We're waiting to see who will get what. Right now, I'm sure the presidency will be looking over that list. Would probably have monitored this screening exercise to see, okay, so where could that fit?
When we say the presidency, I'm really not sure who we're referring to.
Even I don't know. Even I don't know. But I believe, the presidency, safe to say, would have watched the proceedings in the past 5 days and would have decided by now as to who would get which portfolio. The Senate President has moved from his position as chair back to his seat as a Senate President, would then take back to plenary. He's there now. Once they confirm this, that's it.
The confirmation of nominees for appointments as ministers of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The nominees answered questions from distinguished senators on a number of topical issues. The nominees screened and approved are Dr. Okechukwu Oga, Abia State, Senator George Akume, Benue State, Senator Goswill Akpabio, Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Emeka Onwajuba, Imo State, Rotimi Amechi, Rivers State, Dr. Bone Onu, Ebonyi State, Senator Adeleke O. Mamora, Lagos State, Architect Olamilekon Adegbite, Ogun State, Adamu Bauchi State, Sharon Ikezo, Anambra State, Senator Tayo D. Alashadura, Ondo State, Mustafa Babashehuri, Borno State, Abubakar D. Aliyu, Yobe State, Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi, retired, Kano State, Timipre Silva, Bielsa State. Ramatu Tijani, Kogi State. Otumba Richard Adeni Adebayo, Ekiti State. Ambassador Zubairu Dada, Niger State. Dr. Chris Ingige, Anambra State. Mohammed H. Abdullah, Nasarawa State. Sunday Dare, Oyo State. Muhammad Musa Bello, Adamawa State. Sadia Umar Farouk, Zamfara State. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, Kaduna State. Abubakar Malami, Kebbi State. Senator Hadi Sirika, Katsina State. Dr. Osage Henere, Edo State. Festus Kiamo, SAN, Delta State. Pauline Talen, Plateau State. Dr. Ali Isa Ibrahim Pantami, Gombe State. Muhammadu Maigali Dingyadi, Sokoto State. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, Lagos State. Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud, Kaduna State. Senator Bemishola Saraki, Kwara State. Ogbeni Rauf Farag Bishola, Osun State. Godi Jedi Agba, Cross River State. Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, Jigawa State. Ambassador Mariam Katagum, Bauchi State. Clement Agba, Edo State. Geoffrey Enyema, Enugu State. Engineer Saleh Mamman, Taraba State. Sabo Nanono, Kano State. And Lai Mohammed, Kwara State, as ministers of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole?
Well, proceedings of plenary have been adopted. That's a reflection of what has happened over the past 5 days. Maybe the holiday will be announced now.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Ukechukwu Oga as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Ukechukwu Oga is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Ukechukwu Oga is now a minister. Confirmed.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Senator George Akume as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Senator George Akume is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
There you go. George Akume is now a Minister of the Federal Republic.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Senator Goswill Akpabio as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Senator Goswill Akpabio is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Senator Goswill Akpabio confirmed as a minister.
Confirm the nomination of Honorable Emeka Nwajuba as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Honorable Emeka Nwajuba is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Rotimi Amechi as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Rotimi Amechi, Minister
of Rotimi Amechi is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Confirmed by the Senate.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Obone Onu as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Obone Onu is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Senator Adeleke O. Mamora as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Senator Adeleke O. Mamora is hereby confirmed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Senator Adeleke Mamora confirmed as a minister also.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Will the Senate confirm the nomination of architect Olamilekun Adegbite as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Olamilekun Adegbite confirmed.
Olamilekun Adegbite is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Confirmed.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Adamu as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Adamu is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Adamu also confirmed as a minister.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Sharon Ikezu as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Sharon Ikezu is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sharon Ikezu, minister, confirmed.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Senator Tayo D. Alashadura as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Senator Tayo D. Alashadura is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Alashadura Tayo confirmed also.
Confirmed the nomination of Mustafa Babashehuri as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mustafa Babashehuri is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mustafa Babashehuri.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Abubakar D. Aliyu as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Abubakar D. Aliyu is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Abubakar Aliyu confirmed as minister.
The nomination of Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Babashir Magashi, minister.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Timipre Silva as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Timipre Silva is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Timipre Silva confirmed also as minister. We have some more names coming up for confirmation.
The nomination of Ramatu Tijani as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Ramatu Tijani is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Ramatu Tijani also confirmed as minister.
Of Otumba Richard Adeni Adebayo as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Otumba Richard Adeni Adebayo is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Richard Adeni Adebayo.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Ambassador Zubairu Dada as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Ambassador Zubairu Dada is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Zubairu Dada is also a minister.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Dr. Chris Ngige as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Chris Ngige is
Dr. Chris Ngige also confirmed as minister by the Senate. The confirmation is going on the floor of the Red Chambers.
Abdullahi as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mohammed H. Abdullahi is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mohammed Abdullahi confirmed also as minister.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Sunday Dare as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. the nomination of Sunday Dare is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sunday Dare is also
The
a
Senate
minister.
confirmed the nomination of Muhammad Musa Bello as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Muhammadu Musa Bello is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Muhammad Bello also confirmed as
The Senate
minister.
confirmed the nomination of Sadia Umar Farouk as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Sadia Umar Farouk is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sadia Umar Farouk also confirmed
The
as
Senate
minister.
confirmed the nomination of Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Zainab
The
Shamsu
Senate
Mohammed
confirmed
also
the
confirmed.
nomination of Abubakar Malami as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The
Abubakar
nomination
Malami.
of Abubakar Malami is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Confirmed also as minister.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Senator Hadi Sirika as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Senator Hadi Sirika is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Hadi Sirika confirmed
Will
as
the Senate
minister.
confirm the nomination of Dr. Osage Henare as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Osage Henare is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sage Ehinare confirmed
Will the
also.
Senate confirm the nomination of Festus Kiamo SAN as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Festus Kiamo SAN is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Festus Kiriamo confirmed as
Will the
minister.
Senate confirm the nomination of Pauline Talen as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Pauline Talen is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Pauline Talen also confirmed
The
as
Senate
minister.
confirmed the nomination of Dr. Ali Isa Ibrahim Pantami as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Ali Isa Ibrahim Pantami is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Ali Isa Pantami
The Senate
confirmed as
confirmed
minister.
the nomination of Muhammadu Maigari Dengyadi as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Muhammadu Maigari Dengyadi is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Muhammadu Megari also confirmed as
The
minister.
Senate confirmed the nomination of Babatunde Raji Fashola as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Babatunde Raji Fashola, senior advocate of Nigeria, is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Babatunde Fashola confirmed
The
as
Senate
minister.
confirmed the nomination of Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Muhammad Mahmoud is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Muhammad Mahmoud confirmed as minister.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Demishola Saraki as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Demisola Saraki is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Bemisola Saraki
The
confirmed as
Senate
minister also.
confirmed the nomination of Ogbeni Rauf Arek Bishola as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Benny Rauf Arek Bishola is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Rauf Aregbesola confirmed as
The
minister.
Senate confirmed the nomination of Godi J.D. Agba as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Godi J.D. Agba is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Godi J.D. Agba confirmed as
confirmed
minister.
the nomination of Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Suleiman Adamu confirmed also as minister.
The nomination of Ambassador Mariam Katagum as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Ambassador Mariam Katagum is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mariam Katagum confirmed as minister.
The nomination of Clement Agba as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Clement Agba is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Clement Agba confirmed as minister.
Confirmed the nomination of Geoffrey Onyema as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Geoffrey Onyema is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Geoffrey Oyama confirmed as minister also.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Engineer Asala Mamman as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Engineer Asala Mamman is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Saleh Maman confirmed also as minister.
The nomination of Sabo Nonono as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Sabo Nonono is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sabo Nanuno confirmed as minister.
Confirmed the nomination of Lai Mohammed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Lai
the
Mohammed.
nomination of Lai Mohammed is hereby confirmed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
There you go. Lai Mohammed confirmed as minister. And Nigeria, congratulations. You have 43 ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Reflection of what transpired.
The president of the Senate has just confirmed, together with the House, the nomination of the 43, and now they've been confirmed as ministers.
We have come to the end of the screening exercise, and let me thank everyone who has been able to be here. This is devotion to duty, patriotism, and the Senate has demonstrated clearly that we are set to work for Nigerians. There is no doubt the extension of time that ordinarily would have been part of our recess to stay back to do this job shows our commitment to duty, our commitment to our country. And as of today, we have finished this very important national assignment, and to the glory of God, Nigerians have a Senate and indeed a National Assembly that is prepared to take Nigeria to the next level. For those that have been confirmed by this Senate, the message is they must be prepared to work with the Senate and indeed the National Assembly. As we are prepared to work with the executive arm of government, they are the implementers of government programs and projects. We are going to engage them in our oversights and other legislative activities. What we want to achieve is to have a relationship that is based on mutual respect and truth. Once a minister is invited for oversight or any committee activity, I would advise that such a minister attends to the committee, because we mean well for this country. Time should have been over for people to be invited and not to appear before National Assembly committees. While we are not going to be frivolous, we are going to be firm, we are going to be serious with our oversight. Oversight is the only way to ensure that those legislations that we make here, particularly the budget that we pass, is implemented, particularly. And this is the only way to make Nigeria better. And with this, I want to congratulate the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for really nominating Nigerians of great quality, Nigerians of great experience, and very good backgrounds. The current ministers that have just been confirmed to be appointed by or sworn in by Mr. President have demonstrated throughout the period of this screening that they are worth their onions. I believe that they should be tasked. Once they are given their portfolios, they must have their tasks cut out clearly for them. And with National Assembly that is poised to work with the executive, I'm sure taking Nigeria to the next level will not be difficult. Let me finally thank my colleagues once again for this show of commitment, show of loyalty and love of country. We have done ourselves, I'm sure, pride by staying back to do this work, even though we still have some other issues to be addressed as soon as we come back. We will be going on recess and return sometimes in September. We expect to face the budget. It is our desire and hope that the budget appropriation bill 2020 will be presented to this National Assembly at the end of September or late the first week of October. It is our determination and resolve that we are able to work on the budget, and before Christmas, we should be able to pass the budget, provided it is in the National Assembly at the end of September or the first week of October. It is doable, it is achievable, and we believe that Nigeria should return to January to December budget cycle. Let our economy have predictable parameters. At the moment, I think there is difficulty understanding what the Nigerian economy really is, because our budget implementation is in chaos, is in tatters, and I believe that we can, together with the executive, return it to that cycle that is predictable and good for business, both domestic and international. My colleagues, finally,
we anticipate this is a call to go on the long break.
We'll adjourn briefly and then come back to pass the votes and proceedings, so that what we have done today could be useful to the executive arm of government. So I'll call the leader to adjourn for just 1 hour to enable the Secretariat work out the votes and proceedings, and we come back at 3 o'clock to adopt the votes and proceedings, and then we go on our recess by the grace of God. Leader of the Senate.
Well, there you have it, Nigeria. You have your senators. You have 43 of them,
That's
7
right.
females, and well, the government should kickstart and get to work.
And I guess this will give the government of the day a sense of direction. This will actually give a boost to the business community. The Nigeria Stock Exchange can actually, heave a sigh of relief right now and say, yes, we're ready to go for business. The Stock Exchange has been experiencing some downturn recently, back to back, and we could not totally just extricate, the causes of those downturns to the lack of cabinet by the minister. Now we have, the ministers, and as duly confirmed by the House of Assembly. So hopefully, in no time, the presidency or the president himself, because the presidency is kind of ambiguous, the president can give them portfolios that these ministers can now have their own portfolios and, get down to real business. As it is right now, the Senate will be going for a 1-hour break. Then they come back and have a voice vote on the proceedings of the House so the executive can see something to work with.
So once they adopt the proceedings, well, that's a wrap. They go on a break, 8 weeks break, now
That's right.
7 weeks.
They'll be back September 15, I think.
That's right. And they say when they return, they'll be hopefully passing the budget. Let's thank you all for being a part of this live coverage of the ministerial screening. It's a wrap. 43 ministers for you, Nigeria. And we're waiting for them to kickstart and make Nigeria a better place. Thank you all for being live with us on Facebook, Twitter.
Thank you.
All through the 5 days. Thank you for listening in. Big thanks to also everyone on the team that made this happen. Yvonne Hohaifor, Tosia Keride, Zainab Yakin, Babatunde Abdusalam, whose birthday is today, by the way. Happy birthday today. He's been fantastic. That's why you can watch us online. Everyone on the team, also the afternoon team, Sandra and Aho, they'll be back here at 3 o'clock when the Senate returns. We might just take the adoption, but it really is a wrap. Thank you all for being a part of it. We're leaving you now in the hands of Colin Steke and his crew for the lunchtime magazine from now to 3 p.m. And then at 3 p.m. Hard Facts will kickstart. We'll see you again tomorrow morning on the Morning Crossfire from 6 a.m.
That's right.
Join us then. I'm Wemimo Adewuni.
And I'm Sheriff Quadry.